These are the tales and ramblings of two men, of their dream of running a successful food truck business and life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is Monday Morning Food Truck.
Good morning, Skippy. I had
Morning,
just realized
Josh.
that I don't have my record button on Zoom. There it is.
Recording in progress.
Now, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a
Great
good
day.
How's 9 o'clock in Michigan?
Bright. How's remind the folks where you are again?
It's 6 o'clock in California.
Ooh,
And at
California.
the Marriott next to the airport. Yeah.
Easy on, easy
home.
up.
Flying back home in a few hours, so it will be a long day today and a very long day tomorrow, I'm guessing. So, yeah.
So you're flying out in a couple hours. So flying out what, like 9, 10, somewhere around there?
11 o'clock flight, and then we land at 6
Yeah.
for me to try to go to bed right away to be up at 3:30. So, yeah, I'm sure that'll go
You got
well.
this.
Sure, it'll
You
go
got
fine.
this.
I'll be able to go to sleep and no problem. But I got up early today. I was up at 4 o'clock local time here to try to make myself tired. So we'll see.
Yeah, the
Maybe.
problem is it's a 6-hour flight, so
Yeah.
you're gonna sleep on a plane.
I will not. I can't sleep on planes. I have to be
No?
really, really tired to sleep on a plane. So that's usually reserved for Vegas trips on the way back. I think it's the
I've
only
never
time I've
been.
ever slept on a plane.
I've never been to Vegas,
You should go. It's a lot of fun.
so I've heard.
Good shows. Good food.
I'd lose money.
Well, that's you do on any vacation. You don't have to gamble.
You're right. You absolutely do not have to gamble. It
There's-
just calls. It just
There's
calls.
so much more to do than just gamble out there. So
Yeah. Yep. I would absolutely.
some of my best trips are trips I haven't really gambled hardly at all. So anywho,
Great trips. I
How
don't hear
was
any
your
dogs in the background.
what's that?
I said I don't hear any dogs in the background.
That's a nice change. I don't know what you're going to hear because I can hear the hotel lobby music. I'm in the lobby. I'm not sure if I'm where breakfast is served or not. So I'm not sure how busy this area is going to be. But currently, there's no one here.
All right. Well, we'll keep it quick.
Eh,
You'll have cameos.
Well, the other thing is, I'm on the free side of the Wi-Fi, which is great when no one's on it. So I'm not sure if this is going to get weird later. So
Well, we'll
they
find
won't
out.
let me upgrade now. So I don't know.
So
Whatever.
my week, 2 weeks. We've missed 2 weeks now.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it was profitable. It was non-profitable, and I finally put a help wanted sign on the door. And
Non-profitable. So you did some non-profit work.
no, it was events that we were led to believe certain things that unfortunately weren't certain things. So, note to self: remember those.
Mm-hmm.
We were fortunate enough to win a what's called a golden ticket. So we're heading to Dallas, Texas, to compete in the World Food Championships in November. That should be pretty fun. Yes, there was only 4 teams, but hey, odds are in my favor. There's only going to be like 30 in the barbecue category of the World Food, so odds are still in our favor.
Yeah.
Ish. Ish. Okay, ish. And weather sucked some days, was good other days. And again, I put a help wanted sign out there. And we've had a couple people show interest. And they like the fact that I can pretty much give them a schedule a month in advance. And yeah, when you have an employee, and I can't say an employee, when you have a helper that you depend on, that you pay what you think is good money to do certain things. And they try to hold you up for more money before they go to an event. That just doesn't sit well with me. So we had a discussion about that, and will not happen going forward. She can still help out if she wishes, but I got somebody starting August 1st. We're going to try it out because that's a smaller event.
Yep. Awesome.
Other than that,
you didn't want to start them out on like a roadside thing?
this is like a 2-hour event downtown. It's close to home for both of us. No reason to travel. It's from like 11 to 1. So I figured that would honestly be the best spot.
Primarily taking orders?
Yep.
I'm guessing is what you're looking for.
Yeah, she's got a lot of experience as a waitress. She's an older lady. Waitress, hostess, bartender. So she seems very personable when I've talked to her. We're going to meet, I think, this week before she starts.
Good.
Yeah. So other than that, how'd Chris do?
Well, are we going to skip my other week?
Oh, sorry. Let's go to the week that you were actually here and working.
Yeah. It's, meh, okay. It's, July, man. I'm over it. Pretty much over July. Dinners have really slowed down for us. Subdivisions have really slowed down in July. But, yeah, our daytime, our lunch stuff is hitting pretty good for the most part. Outside of, we have one of the farmers market was meh. But it was kind of a weird week everywhere we went that week. So, Wiseman's been okay. Kind of hanging in there with decent lunches at least. As far as this past week goes, when I was gone, I don't know. Lunches seemed okay, and dinners were slow for the most part. That's all I can tell you. I haven't gotten reports on anything else, so as far as I know, the trailer's all in one piece, parked where it's supposed to be, and I still have staff.
That's good. Okay.
I asked for availability for the week, and I got it, so as far as I know, everything was hunky-dory. Chris reached out a few times. So part of my trying to help Chris is I was still doing Facebook posts daily for him. I would just do them the night before and schedule them for the next morning so they would post at our normal time. Yeah. So with that, we had planned out all our specials for the week. So I knew what was going to be the special the night before without him having to tell me, blah, blah. Well, Chris had a hard time finding chicken during the week. So we had chicken legs on special one day. We were going to do our chicken sliders another day. Yeah. And Meyer was just out of chicken. So without him running all over Grand Rapids looking for chicken. Yeah. So we had to, so he was reaching out to me about that, and we just kind of pivoted, and I changed posts, and it wasn't a huge deal. But other than that, no questions on really anything. Just letting me know where we were with some dry stock and stuff, and rubs and stuff. So, yeah, as far as I know, everything went fine.
Awesome.
Without any real hiccups. They had one sellout, and that was on Saturday at the campground. The 2 jails were fine. One of our better showings at the Kent County Jail. Ottawa County Jail was a little bit low, but dinners were just slow. Even at our normal busy dinner spots, they were just slower than normal. So, July. It's just July. And really, we might be down versus last year July. It's that slow for us this year. So,
did you look through your calendar to see if it was a difference in like different events? Like you're not at that many more, or that you're not at that many events this year as you were last year?
We didn't have any events last year either.
Oh, nothing.
Like events, and we don't have them this year either. Outside of a food truck Friday next week. Yeah. We actually are working. We worked more days this year than we did last year July.
Oh wow.
But we had the whole Middleville fireworks debacle of that crapness. And just some slow dinners, and we had some slow days. which is fine. We'll need a pretty good week this week to meet last year. We can do it, but it's going to have to be a pretty banging week. So it is what it is. It just kind of extra hurts coming off our busiest month ever.
Yeah.
To have, and it's been that way every year for us in July. So it'll be a point of focus next year on trying to find some of those smaller festivals and events on weekends for next year. So
yeah, so we had the Gus Macker tournament this year. Mm-hmm. We did it last year for the basically 2.5 days. I think we did 3,200 last year. This year we finished off with a Friday and Saturday were actually pretty close to the same. I think Saturday was an extra, I don't know, $100 or something. Mm-hmm. But Sunday was, so they canceled play late Saturday because of rain, and so everybody and their brother had to show up on Sunday to play. They still had mini games. They went to a shorter format, but they parked us last year. They parked us in the food truck court, but I didn't think anybody knew we were there. Plus, it was all where the kids' courts were. There just wasn't a lot of happenings. This year, they parked us next to the adult courts in the midst of all the restaurants that are in that area. So high-end steakhouse, chicken place, hot dog place, burger place, and we did better. And we only did better on the Sunday, which was, I thought, interesting. So we did almost 4,000 this year. So at least it was higher.
Yeah. Is that significantly better? I'm sorry if I missed if you said what you did last year, but
no, we did 3,300 last year, so it was $500-600 better.
But worth going.
Yeah, I mean it rained on Sunday, but they kept playing.
Yeah,
but they canceled Saturday, or they postponed Saturday because of thunder and lightning, which is weird though, because then they had a cornhole tournament, which I was down by, but everybody was around the cornhole tournament. Nobody was walking, so it's like. Huh. Downtown, that was the only part downtown that was actually doing something. So I decided to pick up and go home. That way I'd be able to sleep a little bit.
So had they not canceled Saturday, it probably would have been a good.
It might have been better. Yeah, it might have been better for sure. Some of those games, though, man, I'm telling you, are intense. Like, you figure 3-on-3, first to 10, 15-minute games. That was the shortened, so it was 25 and 15, and they shortened it to 15 and 10. Like, these guys playing in the rain, street ball in the rain, they're slipping, sliding all over the place. This dude came over, he had a busted lip, like you could see the inside of his lip. There was one guy in there that is a recruit for Ohio State. He's going to be a tight end. And he was the most arrogant prick I ever met in my life.
That seems right.
Totally told the guys, I said, hey, if you beat their team, because they had to win 2 to win the championship, because they were in the losers bracket, and they lost the first one, so they lost they got second place overall. I said, if you win, free food for you guys, just because.
Please.
Anyway, yeah. So we are up this month. I told you my goal was my hefty goal was 40.
Yep.
In gross sales, we're up almost 4%.
Nice.
In transactions, so we talked about transactions and all the weird numbers that it can show.
Yep.
I'm up 140% in transactions.
Damn.
Like,
Is that
that's
because you
crazy.
did so much more catering last year?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, it was just. Oh, sorry. That's 140% from last month, not last year. I can't change to last year.
Yeah, I know. That's weird.
Yeah, so I have to hit about $2,000 a day to hit that hefty goal.
Yeah, you might be. I think you're ahead of us this month. Right now. So let me look.
I'm at 25 basically.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close, dude.
Square keeps telling me I can get a loan from them, so I know I'm doing all right.
Yeah, we're at 27.
Yeah, and we still have our calendar for this week is we've got double events tomorrow, Wednesday, Saturday, a food truck rally on Thursday, and like just a private event that's always huge. We've already pre-sold 90 meals.
Yeah, wow. We need to do 11,500 this week to match last year. Or over the last 6 days that we have.
Yeah. Well,
Which we're kind of expecting, as long as the weather holds for Friday, that should be around a $5,000 day. So now you're looking at just doing $6,000 over 5 days, which is doable. So it's a doable number. $1,200 a day. So it's about what we were doing last week. So all things holding true, we should be pretty close to last year's number. It would be nice to be above it and not slide fully back, but yeah, we'll see if we can. I don't think we can hit. I think we can still hit 40. Yeah, we can hit 40. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Gonna happen.
We're gonna have some sellout days. We have So this week we have a subdivision we haven't been to in over a year, I think. That reached out to us. So they want it bad. Our dinners look like they should be good. We have another one on the north side of Rockford that we did the St. Patrick's Day event for, and it was huge. Everybody came to eat. So they only do food trucks like 4 times a year, and they make big events out of them. So we're hoping that's a pretty good night. And then we have another campground this weekend, a different campground that's bigger than the last one. But yeah, Tyler Creek was fine.
It did okay?
They sold out. It wasn't a huge number, so I guess it was a lot of meat by the pounds.
Yeah.
Towards the after. It was never. They never had a huge hour. It was just, a few $100 every hour. Yeah, steady.
Yeah. That's good.
But they have 100. She said they have 110 seasonal slots, and then another 40 that are not seasonal. So open to the public. So, I don't know.
We did. When we camped there, I think it was a little bit maybe later in the season, so that's probably more. They have a lot of they have people moving in tiny home. They have a little 9-hole golf course.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a cool little place. I just wasn't sure if it was going to be, because when we were there, it wasn't packed.
Yeah,
so I'm glad
I was on board because I know they have done food trucks there fairly regularly. Yeah, cool. Campgrounds seem to be the next thing. Now that we're past subdivisions, there's we got asked a lot in the spring about campgrounds for the summer. We just didn't have dates to give them. But I've heard wood chip is a good one. That one's pretty big, closer to home too, so that's nice. But yeah, should be a good week. We should end July pretty strong. Feeling pretty good about it.
I'm about 3,000 away from last year's July, so.
Oh yeah, piece of cake.
Yeah, right.
I've got an open house. We booked an open house on the calendar already for next year. We are quoting a lot of stuff right now for next year, which is great. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready to start booking next year yet. We've got some gaps in August on our calendar that I don't know how I missed, but we'll fill them. We'll find stuff. But I got some work to do over the next week or so. So,
it'll happen. For some reason, I have the entire last week of August still open for some reason. I don't even know how I did that.
I have 2 Thursdays that have nothing on them. I'm like, that's weird. How do I have nothing?
Work.
Yeah. So it was one of those. Probably just. I'll get to it. I'll get to it a little bit later. We got some time.
Yeah.
Look, here it is. Next week's August.
Yeah, next week is August. So that whole time thing you were talking about,
Yeah,
not
it's
so
gone.
good.
So, yeah, so that puts us down to about 3.5 months left of our season. So, big push. We'll climb over 200,000 in sales this week. So, the push for 350 is on.
The push for 350 is on. The push for
Which is gonna be
250
hard.
for me is going somewhat well.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hard time getting to 350, I think, but that's pretty much three $50,000 months, which I think we can do in August and September, potentially. Yeah, but October's gonna be the tricky one.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
October's always been hit or miss for us, so we've had some good Octobers, and I think last year was a little bit down. We had a little bit worse weather this last October. It was a little bit wetter. So it all just depends, on weather, especially in October. So, and then we're going to go until I think for the first 2 weeks of November this year. So, because since we've been open with the food truck, the first 2 weeks of November have been super nice. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure this year we'll have a foot of snow and it'll be crap weather the whole 2 weeks. So,
Yeah, it'll be exactly how you expect it. Yeah.
yeah. So
Horrible.
we'll see how it goes. Yeah, and then the plan is to shut down for the winter. Not do anything at all, really. Toyed around with a couple different ideas, kind of seeing if there's any interest in any like backyard type classes, stuff like that. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. I've been holding on to that one for a while, trying to get rid of it, but. Yeah, doing like ribs and mac and cheese type stuff. God damn it.
Bless you again.
I'm okay. I'm not gonna die. I am a double-digit sneezer though, so this might be for the next little while.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah. We have a guest coming on shortly. Please excuse Josh. He's dying. The smog from California has finally got to him.
We had talked before I left about trying to maybe locate some food trucks and stuff.
How'd that go?
I saw a couple.
Yeah.
Didn't eat at any. Oh, man. The closest we came to eating on a food truck was at the San Diego Aquarium, Birch Aquarium, I think it is, where their snack bar was fed by a food truck. So,
Really?
yeah, the food truck did all the deep fried stuff, the grilled top, the hamburgers, and stuff like that. So it was set up right next to the snack bar where they had the fruit cups and all the other things that you don't have to cook. And then all the orders for hot food went into the food truck and came out of the food truck. It was weird. But yeah, every time we saw one or drove by one, we had already just eaten or we were on our way to go somewhere and didn't have time to stop. So,
Was there a prevalent kind of food truck you saw?
no. Saw a couple taco trucks. I think, yeah, a couple taco trucks. I think we saw a burger truck. More carts, a lot of fruit carts, fresh fruit carts, where they had sliced fruit on ice in carts all over the place, especially in LA, really big in LA. The beach, Santa Monica Pier, we were there yesterday, and there was probably, within our eyesight, a dozen of those. So I don't know if it's the same person that owns all of them.
Yeah.
But they definitely needed to be spread out more. I wasn't sure if we were going to see some turf war action going on. I was kind of hoping for it, but yeah, that's a lot of fresh fruit carts everywhere.
Interesting.
Yep. So yeah, unfortunately, didn't get a real good taste of food truck life out here. I'm hoping that this, if I get to take the trip with my son, during his spring break that we'll be able to hit that a little bit more. But yeah, it was good. Food was good out here. Nothing super special. I mean, we didn't. A couple local restaurants, but yeah, it was food.
Good. Yeah, I mean, we don't have. There was like 2 food trucks here during Gusmacker. I didn't get a chance to get out and try any of them. I mean, I've had one of them is a pizza truck. I've had him on. We've actually had him on our podcast, but a couple other ones were not really. They didn't look appetizing. If you got to put 15 signs out to tell people what you have, like yard signs, and then roll a free sample of some Italian ice sign, to me that just sounds. Is it desperate? Is desperate the right word?
I don't know that's desperate.
I mean, you got 30 yard signs out telling people what you have, and they're all the way down the block, so people know. Okay, you can come get a hot pretzel here. You can come get, like the people that do walking tacos. People who do walking tacos, and they put them in the 1 ounce little bag.
Yep.
And then charge $10 for it. First of all, don't ever buy those because those bags aren't heat safe. Costco actually makes a 1.5 ounce or 2 ounce bag that is heat safe.
Yep.
They just rip the top open. Our friends at Hog's Backyard Barbecue does those. Anyway,
I did get a pallet of sauce this last week.
Did you?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I did get a pallet of sauce. So I got called because our supplier ran out of sauce and they were waiting on a shipment. So one of our friends also uses the same sauce and orders by the pallet, which is awesome. But apparently, when they put in the order, they had put in it got doubled somehow. So when the superstore received the order, they had an extra pallet of unlabeled sauce.
Oh.
So Mark calls me. He's like, "So I got this pallet. I can get it to you in 3 days." I was like, "Well, I don't have to wait the 4 to 6 weeks and then worry about having to supply sauce in between." So, yep. He said, "Otherwise, we're gonna send it back to the co-packer, have them put labels on it, and then have it send it to us." So, yeah. So I got a pallet of sauce. So I'm good for sauce flavor.
You think you'll go through that much sauce the rest of the year?
No. We'll have some for next year then. Just judging based on the last time we got a pallet, it lasted us roughly a season. Did
you obtain some sort of friend discount?
You mean besides the normal pallet price? No.
Yes. You paid the normal price, did you?
For a pallet? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Why wouldn't I have?
I don't know. I didn't know. Because typically when he calls and says, "I got this," there's always some sort of.
No, so I mean, he was just wondering because I had talked about it.
You saved shipping cost.
Yeah, I had talked about it numerous times with him and with Rich. So,
yeah.
And for me, the biggest hang-up was the lead time, the 4 to 6 week lead time, and me having to buy sauce, not knowing when that pallet was going to come. And not that I'm going to have sauce expire on me, but, dropping the $3,000 for sauce and then still having to buy sauce for the next month and a half was the part that I was hung up on. So, they had it. They could get it to me quick, and it was already done, so it was nice.
Well, I made the mistake of switching sauce suppliers, and now I just can't get it anytime I want it now. Anyway.
Are you out again?
I have a gallon left.
So I had gone back to early barbecue competition days where I was mixing a concoction of sauces that you needed a science kit to nail down. But, I mean, something that was an okay sauce, but, I mean, definitely not anywhere near where we were. So, we had to run that for about 2 weeks. Had one person comment. That was it. But yeah, we definitely announced when we had our Judgment Day back, in case there was some of that where people were not stopping by because of a change of recipe or whatever. So
Yeah. Yes, sir.
have we heard from JT at all?
If not,
You sent him the link, right, for the
I did.
Zoom? Okay.
I did.
JT, are you out there? Now taking your calls.
Calling. You ever? Okay, so maybe it's just me. You ever walk in an elevator and then you're
Yes, all the
expecting,
time.
you're expecting the voice. I don't know why I'm expecting the voice, like to tell you where you're going. So I've done this before. Just that voice that you just did reminded me of. You walk in an elevator on floor 1, you go floor 2.
Now arriving in the lobby.
Can't hear you.
No.
Floor
Well, I'm not going to say that.
3.
Hello?
No. How's breakfast?
Tried. Huh?
They doing breakfast yet?
I'm hearing more noise. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what time breakfast starts. I would assume soon.
I assume everybody flew out yesterday, so.
I don't know. It's a pretty big airport.
It is a rather
There was
large.
a lot of people checking in when we checked in at 4 o'clock yesterday. So
Is LAX? I assume LAX has to be larger than Metro.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you fly out of?
Grand Rapids.
Okay.
So yeah, Allegiant direct flight, which is awesome. Oh yeah, as long as you don't get delayed from Grand Rapids, which I don't know I've ever had a 4-hour delay leaving Grand Rapids before. I don't know.
Weather?
Huh?
Was it weather?
So we get there, and our plane's there. Like, we get there and our plane's already there. We're there 2 hours ahead of time. They never update it. So I got a notification on my app, on my phone, a half an hour before they updated the board, which I thought was a bad sign.
Yeah.
So I guess the original delay was for smog
Oh.
in LA, I'm guessing. Fog and smog in LA. So we got pushed like an hour and a half. The next delay was that our pilots and our crew at that time had worked their maximum number of hours. They couldn't take the flight. So then they had to find us a new crew to be able to fly us out to LA.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So there we go, 4-hour delay. The good thing is, though, we live 20 minutes from the airport. So we just got our shit and went back home for a couple hours. And just had to go through security again, which in Grand Rapids is not a big deal. It was twice as busy the second time we went through security. We still got through in 5 minutes. So, yeah. Grand Rapids does a really good job.
Well, when they patted you down the first time, they didn't feel they needed to pat you down the second time. So.
I didn't get patted down either time. Thank you very much.
I will message him.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Oh, I do hear a phone conversation in the background.
It's the news.
Oh, how's the news?
Illegal RV compound remains as deadline passes.
Ooh. All right,
good
he's
Sounds like
He's
there's a
logging
raid
in.
about to happen.
oh, let's watch live. Because the last major raid that happened that was live on live TV, that went off without a hitch, right?
Yeah, piece of cake.
They did they made a not a documentary. They actually just made a mini series about that.
Yeah, I saw it. At least part of it. It was okay.
Yeah. He's logging in right now.
Awesome.
So while he's logging in, so for people listening or going to listen, Big JT or James Tyndall has been barbecuing for quite a while. I met him in 2012. He's always been was always there for me when I had questions about competitions, and he was his good friend Jeff Sharp from Yellow River Barbecue. They were all sorts of in the same category of they all did well.
Well, I had to teach Jeff how to make boxes.
Well, everybody has to learn somehow.
I'm just saying, I had a hand.
I wish he could have taught you how to cook.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, I love
But
it.
it is fun to look back because, yeah, we were next to them at Yellow River's first contest. And just kind of them being in awe. And I think we got 3 calls that day. It was a good day for us, including our first chicken call in, I think, 2 years at that point. And them asking us all the questions. And then within 3 months, they had zoomed
Yeah, they
right
were
on
just
by.
they just went and didn't look back.
I said, man, I should take my own advice sometimes. I don't know. Those who can do, those who can't teach. Is that what it is?
So from what I remember, so Big JT got his he was vending and competing at a local competition that he was in, and he got approached by a we'll call it an investor that wanted to open up a restaurant. He went there, did that for a short time, and then opened up his own place. And now he's looking at a food truck or a barbecue trailer like the rest of us. So I'm sure we're going to get more from that. Love to hear about his journey, and then kind of talk about pitfalls and maybe what he's hoping to do when it comes to a food truck.
Yeah. Yeah, he should be joining us any second now. Any second. I guess barbecue guys aren't necessarily the best with technology.
Well, my guess is probably logging in from his phone.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
You can do it, JT. I have faith in you, buddy. He's probably prepping meat or something. He's usually listening to us and prepping food, so. Uh-oh, Skippy, did you freeze on me? Oh,
No?
You were just holding still.
Oh, we got somebody.
He is connecting.
Connecting to audio. Where's audio? We're connecting.
Hey!
Oh, now he's on mute.
Mute yourself.
Hey, I'm trying.
There we go.
We have him.
There we go.
We're just talking about you.
That's all right.
All good stuff.
Oh, well, mostly good stuff.
I'm gonna be muting myself on and off.
Well, just let us know how the raid's going. That's all.
We've moved on to weather.
Oh, smog.
Just
smog
another
in
day in
90.
California. Something's getting raided.
Smog in 90. All right, JT. So I've given an intro, kind of what I know about your journey, but give us kind of a little background about yourself and kind of where you've gone and what you're doing now.
Used to be competition cook for quite a few years. Had enough of doing cooking for judges and was looking for a way out of that. Was at a competition in Franklin, Indiana, and had 2 guys come up to me basically and say, "Hey, we're trying to open this barbecue restaurant. Would you like to join and be our pitmaster?" And I said, "You know what? Sounds like a good deal." So they made me an offer. I left my job of like 15 years at the sheriff's department and became a pitmaster, professional. Got paid to do it. Had that restaurant for a couple years. Relationships went sour because the owner was going on like 90-day cruises to Antarctica and shit like that. And, said we weren't making any money. So I left there like December 31st, 2017, 18. Yeah. 17. And then opened up Big JT's here in Columbus. And that's kind of where we're at.
That's Columbus, Indiana, not the evil Columbus in Ohio, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The good Columbus.
On the competition side of things, I started in like 2009. My dad kind of passed away, and he loved barbecue, so I was like, so let me try and do something that can kind of honor him. So I learned how to cook barbecue. Well, tried to learn how to cook. You guys know how that goes. And first competition was a backyard event in Madison, Indiana, and we won like first place brisket. Looking at the box, I don't know how. It looked terrible. But the hook was set, and we kind of went on from there. First pro contest was 2010 in Benton, Kentucky. Got like a fourth place chicken, and then went to Liberty, Indiana, and got like a first place pork, second place ribs. And I'm like, well, this competition barbecue shit's fucking easy. Sorry, I don't know if we can cuss.
Absolutely.
That's just how I talk. And the hook was set, a couple $100,000 later, 2 trucks, 6 pits. You guys know how that goes. Met you guys along the way. Josh doing his morning shots on Saturday. Skippy shigging off everybody.
Simmer down, Turbo. Simmer down. I mean, yeah, it's true, but still.
But, that kind of leads us up to kind of where I am now with the restaurant in Columbus, and trying to get my foot in the door of the food trailer world.
So where's the restaurant at now? I mean, are you still
in Columbus, Skippy?
Yeah, we're in Columbus. It's 300 Hope Avenue. We're in kind of like a little residential part of Columbus, kind of off the beaten path. So if you don't know where we are, you're going to spend 15 minutes on Google Maps trying to find us.
So you're saying it's a destination place?
It is a destination place in a not so great part of town.
All the best barbecue is.
That's kind of what I was thinking,
No, sorry, I didn't mean to derail your question, Skippy. I took it very literally.
Yeah, you're used to it. All right. So what I meant by where's the restaurant? So are we still going to do the restaurant, and you're just adding a food truck?
It's one of those things. Like, I know when I was talking with you a couple weeks back, I was gung ho about shutting the restaurant down like July 1st. We're going full bore into the trailer. And that was because ever since COVID, our location was very good pre-COVID because Cummins Diesel, company, their tech center was less than a block away from us. Their main engine plant was like 2 blocks away from us. So we had like 10,000 people daily within a mile radius of us. And we were lined up out the door from 11 to 2 until we sold out, Then with COVID, anybody for Cummins that can work from home, worked from home. And even though they supposedly have came back, they are not back. So our daily lunch business, we went from serving, 115, 130 tickets a day to maybe 25 through the door. So through the door business is terrible. But catering is kind of what's been keeping us rolling. Whereas you guys know catering should be your kind of gravy money on top.
Absolutely, for sure.
So you're to the point now where you're going to keep both, maybe, and would it?
I think it's going to be more of just a gradual transition from restaurant to trailer instead of just a hard jump.
So would you use the restaurant like as your commissary then?
Yeah, so we have a kitchen in the basement that we use, daily. And then, so we're just, when we do decide to close down, we're just going to move operations solely to the basement as the catering and commissary.
That's kind of exactly where I'd like to get to, especially as we add a second and or third trailer at some point. to be able to have somewhere that we can, instead of cooking out of the trailer every morning, being able to have a true kitchen space to be able to feed all 3 trailers.
Yeah.
Especially for catering.
I think that, I think it's the smartest way. You have all your, you already have your equipment there. You just load up your Cambros or your, hot holds and all that, load them in, and then, send your trailers out wherever you need to go to. Because my plan is I have the one trailer now that we built out of just an old cargo trailer. But I'm wanting to use the money from running the trailer to buy another trailer. I don't want to go into, I want to pay cash for it. I don't want to go into debt for something. So, but then I want 2 trailers, one service trailer and one kind of a semi-permanent spot where people can count on us being, every day unless we've got a big event going on.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's a good idea. I mean, that's what I've been trying to transition to. Instead of just trying to find places to set up, it's more of where can I build a following where I can set up on a daily and still be able to make the sales that I want to.
Because I think if the restaurant was in a better, more public, accessible location on a main street, somewhere, I wouldn't be having this issue. But because, even if you put us in Google Maps, it brings you up on the backside of the restaurant, and you look at it and you're like, I don't know what this place is.
Would that be like one of your regrets with the restaurant? Is the location?
Yeah, like I said, it was a great spot pre-COVID.
Right.
Once COVID kind of took away the captive audience we had, we still get our regulars, we still get all of our, people who come in, but they have to make it out like they're, destination. We're going to JT's for lunch today, not, oh, hey, look, there's a barbecue spot, let's go in.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you noticed it to start coming back at all this, like, lately over the last couple of months at all? Or no? It's still where
Not
it
really.
was?
They're supposed to be going into the office a couple days a week.
Yeah.
But, we don't. We may see, the Cummins kind of crowd come in once or twice every 2 weeks. That's far cry from what.
Yeah, I know that we, some of our business place, everything, because we're near business parks and stuff. I know it went from, we're trying to get everybody in one day a week. And now I know some of the bigger ones, they're saying we're done. Everybody's coming back at this date. Like, there's no more work from home. I think the further we get away from COVID, the more people are coming back, or being forced back, rather. I think that we've seen a small uptick in our lunch sales.
Well, and
in
I
those
think
areas.
I think part of the issue with the Cummins part is they let some of their leases, from what I heard, their leases go from all their office spaces. So now they have like community office spaces. So, I think they've embraced the whole work from home, show up once or twice, a week, because it's saving them, their bottom line, not having to pay rent on office spaces.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the fact that, well, here's the thing is, so being in the mortgage business, when COVID hit, we're all working from home, and we could all work from home anyway. And I think they realized how much rent they could save with people just working from home. And unless they already built a big building that houses all these people, and with real estate the way it is, they can't sell it. I think they'll just allow people to work from home because it's easier. They don't have to have people in unless they want some sort of team building or employee gathering or something like that.
Right. And I mean, Cummins still is a huge part of our catering business. We just did a fairly large event for them Friday, for like 250 people. So they still support us that way, but, just relying on the through the door business, you just can't count on it.
Exactly.
For us this year, because we've had such an uptick in catering this year, and a lot of it's, corporate events, employee appreciation stuff, that kind of thing. Where it almost feels like that's becoming the bread and butter for us, and the roadside's the extra on top type of thing almost.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna do a pretty big push in our off season, kind of promoting us to that kind of crowd.
Yeah, and that's what I need to work on is advertising and getting that part of the business out there with the trailer to say, hey, we got this, we can show up on site, we can take care of you, let us take care of you this way instead of coming through the door.
So Skippy and I have been, we're on different ends of how we do a lot of our catering. So we do primarily buffet setups instead of serving people off the trailer. Where are you at, or where do you find that people want you, or how they want you to serve them? Are you doing mostly buffet stuff, or are you doing service off the truck when you do catering?
I mean, yeah, since we haven't really got the trailer fully up and running, we've been doing strictly kind of buffet. We go in, we set up all of our chafing dishes, all of our setup, run them through the lines, try and get them through as efficiently and quickly as possible. We try and feed 250 people we got through in 45 minutes the other day, just refilling pans as needed. And I don't know how we would have been able to do it in near that time coming off the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know that it's possible. I mean, we do 100 people in an hour, and it feels like we're flying, So, for us, if they have a designated time for eating, or they have a time slot where they want people to eat, I cut them off at like 75 people. Like if they want everybody to eat in an hour.
Yeah.
If you have more than 75 people, I strongly encourage you not to have us serve off the truck.
The worst thing about it is some of these people, in their mind, like for weddings, they have their perfect wedding in their mind, how they want it to go. But they're like, oh, we have 300 people. And I'm like, well, you're not going to get 300 people through one line in 30 minutes and be able to move on to the next segment without, the last 200 people still standing there in line watching you guys cut the cake and do your first dance and all that. People just have unreal expectations of that stuff. And sometimes, you got to go in and convince them it was their idea to run 2 lines or 4 lines or whatever you can do to make sure it keeps the wedding or the event on track.
Yeah. So the reason I get more, I think, food truck requests is, well, I guess the reason I like food truck requests versus buffet is portion sizes. I like to be able to, keep. It seems like whenever I did a wedding that had a buffet style, and I think we've joked about this numerous times, but it's like the older people, sorry, could be elderly, whatever, haven't been out of the home in a year, and they're getting 3 compartment plates with 6 compartments, and then throw half of it away. And it's like, okay, at least with the food truck, I can do that. Now, typically we've done weddings where there's multiple trucks. We cook for a certain amount of people, and that's it. So I guess I like that better because I can control the portion sizes. But it's like, it seems like if you do it the opposite, and grandma and grandpa are going to get, a whole bunch of food and then throw it away, you're already in the hole with whatever food you have to create.
See, I've found the opposite on that. For me, it all comes down to plate sizes. We use like the 8.5 inch, for just normal stuff, 8.5 inch styrofoam plates. We will go with other stuff if they want, fancier or higher end, or, if they have their own plates they want to do. But we try and stay in that like 8.5 inch plate size. And then the way we set up our buffet kind of helps avert that. Because
is there a science to buffet setup?
I mean, I think there is. I don't know if you guys listen to it or not, but Darren from Smokey D's has a new podcast out.
Yeah.
And he goes over like his kind of catering philosophy, and strangely enough, that's kind of how we do ours. But like we set it up with the plates, and then any salads, cold sides, and then we put our like pit beans, mac and cheese. You know, we put the more popular stuff towards the end of the buffet line, especially like, mac and cheese we know is going to go like crazy. Hash brown casserole we know people are going to try and get a bunch of. But if we've put up like coleslaw, potato salad, and then like beans, green beans, they fill their plate up with that stuff before they get to the hash brown casserole, and then they can only take a somewhat normal amount. And then we always put like our meat options in order of like food costs. So we go like chicken, pork, and then brisket at the end. So that way, it kind of helps keep the portion sizes in check. And thus far we've had pretty good luck. We always try and cook about 10% overage, maybe 15%. If we've worked with them before and know that they're big eaters.
Yeah, and I think that 10%, 15% is the important part, and I think that's where Skippy has struggled, and that's all built into your quote price. It's not like you're giving them an extra 10% for free. That's all part of the price,
Right, which that brings me to another thing. I'm not sure if you saw my post yesterday about what would you pay for 100 people for lunch. I had somebody call me yesterday and say, hey, I need catering for this week. I'm like, cool, when? Monday. Okay. What do you want? Pulled pork, mac and cheese, and beans. Okay. So my catering prices are on the lower end compared to some of the places around here. That's like an $11 or $12 a person meal. I told them the price, and they were like, holy cow, why is it so expensive? And I said, that's not expensive for me, for catering, and I just don't get it. I think people you guys have probably had it too, send you messages or, want quotes, and they're like, well, my budget's $400 or $500. I want to feed 100 people or 80 people. I'm like, that's $625 a person. You can't go through the drive-through and get anything for that. And you want me to create food like,
here's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a bag of chips, and a cookie in a juice box.
Right.
We do fundraisers and stuff where it's like, it's a pulled pork sandwich and a couple sides, and we tell them $10 a person.
Yeah.
Like I can't send my trailer out for free.
Right.
I would love to, but
There's
especially if you want us on
associated.
site and serving sandwiches and stuff to everybody, I can't do it. I can't take a loss. I don't care if it's a tax write-off for me. I'm still losing money.
Right. Tax write-offs don't pay your bills.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't understand where people get the unrealistic expectations that, just because it's barbecue, it's cheap. I don't know if like pork prices and brisket prices have went through the roof the last few weeks. And it's all thanks to some BS legislation in California where they have so many square feet per animal or something like that. So,
Is that what it has been this last couple of weeks? I figured it was just normal summer.
No,
pricing.
so there's some rule that got passed that goes into effect like July 31st or something about farms that provide meat to California have to have so many square feet per animal to make them happy. And so if they had a PO or it was on order before July 31st, they could be brought in to their warehouses. So now everybody in California is like panic buying, pork butts and briskets and all that. And it's just driving the prices up.
So Restaurant Depot sent out, I think, an email for people in California. I saw one that said you're only allowed to buy, I think it was 130 pounds of meat per week, something like that. But it was and people in California, that's all they could buy for that. And I'm like, that's just gonna, geez, it's panic buying, just like you said.
I would be more vocal if I wasn't sitting where I was sitting, but
oh, you happen to be in that area.
I've driven the countryside from LA to San Diego in the last week, and I can probably count on one hand the number of cows I've seen. I don't need any fingers. It's zero. Not a single.
Oh, there's no happy cows in California?
I haven't seen a farm like an animal farm anywhere in the area, or evidence of it. So maybe that's more Northern California, which I don't know why it would be, but yeah, interesting.
That's where a lot of farms take effect.
I think
hopefully, hopefully the other areas of the country can boost cattle and pork production.
And I think they will, but with everybody from California, buying it up, that's where they're sending all their products. So, there's shortages, maybe not shortages, but price increases to stave off shortages.
Right.
But what people don't understand is, 50 cents, 60 cents a pound on pork builds up when you're buying hundreds of pounds a week.
Right. And when you factor on loss, you pretty much double that price as our price.
Right. Yeah. And people, I don't think people understand that either, because they look at, I get people that come in, they're like, oh, hey, they got brisket at $2.99 a pound at Kroger. And I'm like, okay, well, Kroger won't sell me cases of brisket.
Right.
And $2.99 a pound is good, but that's not what I actually pay in the end for a reduced pound of beef brisket.
Somebody said, what is it? Good barbecue ain't cheap. Cheap barbecue ain't good.
Yeah, well, you guys and I know that a lot of people just equate barbecue to meat cooked with barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
And people don't understand the actual, time and effort and dedication it takes to produce good barbecue.
Absolutely.
We've all spent thousands of dollars going to classes. Well, not Skippy, because
I went to classes.
But you know what I mean.
You sat outside the classes with a glass up to the door.
We all spent money, went all over the country and cooked, and learned the ins and outs of good and very bad barbecue. And and I can probably say that there's a handful of guys in the nation outside of the top competition cooks that can put out quality barbecue that's worth paying a premium for. And I strive to be one of those people.
Yeah, I hope to be there one day. I mean, we're all our worst critics, but yeah, I'm not going to put myself in the top 10% in the country yet.
No, I think you should, though. I mean, but seriously,
yeah.
Like, think of this. How many teams, KCBS teams have ever won a grand champion out of an event?
Yeah.
There's many teams that go years, their entire time cooking without getting a first place call,
Yeah.
And so, I mean, just by us doing that and then now saying, screw that, let's go feed the public, now we have to, we can't put the same effort and time into, producing that level of barbecue, because let's face it, that level of barbecue was flopped to the public.
Yeah. Yeah, it's barbecue you don't want to eat every day.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's something that's sustainable. I know I think, doesn't he do competition style?
No.
Who was
Darren does really good eating barbecue.
Okay.
If you talk to him, he says we're not going to be the best barbecue you've ever had, but we're going to be the most consistent barbecue you've ever had. And that's where it counts, consistency.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you produce the best brisket one day and then the next day it's hot roast.
Right.
If you can't produce it on a daily basis, then what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, and that's first and foremost what we try to do, and that's why we never reuse anything.
Yeah.
Because I know you can get it close to not having that reheated taste, but it's there, you know. So.
And then, you know, with the other thing is, I don't know what I was going to say.
Hey, you're like a true member of the show.
Well, he is a long-time listener, first-time caller.
That's right.
Yeah.
Halfway through a sentence, you're like, I don't know what I'm saying.
I just talk to hear my voice.
Hey,
That's
so
what Skippy
does
says I do.
Josh.
Yeah. But
All
yeah,
Josh all the time. So that go. All right, I got to go back. So that buffet setup, where do you put the buns?
I put the buns at the very beginning.
So
Like,
it takes a,
you
so it
walk
takes
up
a
and-
plate room still.
You go up and you walk up and you grab napkin, fork, plate, buns are right there, and then cold sides, hot sides, and then meat.
so even Skippy, even that small thing of having your napkins and silverware first versus last, where last is easier for people because it's less for them to have to juggle. But first, they have to juggle extra stuff, so they're going to put less stuff on their plate, so it's not as heavy and off weight. And I love having
my
green salad
mind.
the first thing on the buffet.
My mind is now blown. I've always been doing it backwards.
We've played around with our order of food so much, trying to figure out the right, and we do it the same way. All our popular stuff goes last. You know, our mac and cheese is always last on the table.
And I always figure, you know, like full pans, we figure 45 to 50 people is what a full pan's going to feed. You know,
Yeah.
so if we're doing a 200 person event, I'm bringing 2 full pans and a half pan of all my sides. But that also goes like if they have 4 sides, or you know, I'll only bring, you know, I'll bring a little bit less of each side because not everybody's going to take a full, complete portion of all
Portion
4
sizes
sides.
get smaller the more options you have,
Yeah.
typically.
Although there was one wedding where only like they bought for like 100 and only about 40 people showed up to the wedding, and they made the announcement before everybody went through, hey, there's plenty of food, everybody eat up. And man, these guys were putting 2 and 3 brisket sandwiches on one plate and piles of sides on the other, and I almost ran out of food because people were taking 2 plates worth, you know, the first time through.
Wow.
I was a little nervous on that one, but we made it.
Wow. So on your, do you leave everything that doesn't go with them?
Yes.
Yeah. In my
We
opinion,
try.
they paid for it. It's their food.
Well, and we try and get it to where we're not, you know, we're not going to leave 2 full pans of beans.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
we should, if everything goes the way it should go, there should be maybe a half pan of beans left over.
Yeah, they got some food for lunch and dinner the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
So do you? At what point do you start tearing down your buffet line?
So we tell them we are on site for like 45 minutes prior to set up, and we will be on site for 30 to 45 minutes after the last person goes through for their first time.
Okay, and that's
So then once that last person goes through, we try and find whoever our on-site contact is and say, hey, everybody's made it through. There's this much of each thing left. We're going to go ahead and quietly break down in the background while you guys move on, but we're going to leave this. Where do you want it? What do you want us to do with it? And then we leave that decision up to them, whether we leave it, you know, there for them to just munch on throughout the night. But we always make sure we're going to be like, hey, you know, we're going to tear down the warmers so it's not going to be hot,
yeah.
you know, but we just want to let you know.
Yeah, we're kind of the same way. We let them know, yep, we're going to get everybody through once, assuming there's still a decent amount of food or whatever. We'll leave everything up for another 15, 20 minutes if anybody wants to grab any more food. And then, we'll start doing dishes and stuff in the trailer. And then, slowly start breaking all that stuff down. Nothing in a big rush. So, we're kind of on the same thought. I think that's a good way to go. We've had a couple of, I mean, kind of like what you said, where they have way less guests than what they projected, and we have left full pans of meat with people. It's like, here you go. I mean, happy lunch for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
You know? And we've had people ask for to-go boxes. Like, do you guys have any to-go boxes where we can have people come and grab food? Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I just recently did that I think will help out, and it came from a tip from Darren, there's a company that you can get spoons, tongs, all of your serviceware that has your name and logo on them. They're like 60, 70 cents a piece.
Well, Skippy doesn't reuse any of that stuff, so it's good that it's cheap.
Well, but they're, yeah. But they are,
You see that?
they're good enough quality to where, if you take them and drop them off at an office, somebody in that office isn't going to throw it away because it's such a nice spoon,
Okay.
And then they pull them out and they go, oh, we haven't had JT's for a while. And
Have
then,
you, did he leave links for where to get those?
they're in the podcast, but I have it on my phone. I'll shoot you guys a message.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, that's one thing where I've been afraid to pull the trigger is on all that logoed bags and stuff, just because the minimum order on most of it to get a good price is so high.
And well, like with these spoons and everything, like the minimum's I think 60 or 80 pieces, so it's not terrible,
No.
And it's about this. I'm not going to say it's about the same price. It's about twice the price of buying a pack of them from Sam's Club, but they're heavier duty and they have your contact information on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Because there's so many people that come through and they're like, oh, who did the food? And it's like, I don't want to put business cards out there. That's tacky, at a wedding. But if they can look at
Famous Dave's has been doing it for years, putting their we had Famous Dave's, I don't know, 6-8 years ago, and they had their logo on their spoons.
Yeah, well, Famous Dave's went out of business here in Indiana, so
Maybe it's not a good idea to put logo on spoons. I don't know.
you know how I know they went out of business?
How?
Because I've got their big Southern Pride out in my front yard.
Is that where you got that from?
Yep.
Awesome. And you stole, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. I paid
I
about.
guess I have to go around looking at
10%
Famous
of
Dave's that are
retail
getting ready to close.
Yeah, it's funny. You got a big Southern Pride from the one that closed. I got a big trophy from the one that just celebrated 20 years. Yay. Whatever.
Hey, you get a trip to Texas, though.
I do. I still got to pay for it. I don't have to pay to be in the competition, but I got to pay to get to Texas.
It's a long drive.
Yes, it is a long drive, but it'll be great content. Hopefully.
Sure.
Are we still going to try and do
see your
that
tears.
barbecue crawl?
I would love to. You want to come down to Texas with me?
I mean,
What are you doing in November?
hopefully slinging meat somewhere, but
When is that in November, Skippy?
The first full week of November, the 8th through the 12th, I think.
Yeah, I'll be working. Sorry.
yeah, I'm planning if we're still running if we have the trailer going, I'm kind of thinking like March through October, like end of October, and then kind of weather dependent November, but pulling the plug after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We had historically been end of October, and then we close up, and then we have the best weather we've had in a month and a half the first 2 weeks of November.
Yeah.
Which is great for me because I get to go out and play a round of golf or two. But I was like, let's roll the dice on this year, and we'll stay open until mid-November and see what happens. But so I'm sure it'll be like I told Skippy, we'll have a foot of snow that weekend.
Have you guys ever tried to do like turkeys for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I did some last year. Not many.
It can be a really good, money maker business wise if you can volume it up.
The problem is I don't it's like, okay, so do they just? So for you, they could just come pick up at the restaurant.
Right.
We'd have to pull our trailer somewhere just to do
So
it.
I'm
They
picking
can
up at the house.
I get it.
That's what I did for I mean, when I did the Super Bowl thing, that's what I did. But here's my problem. I don't want to work every holiday. So if I had a location like a commissary or a walk-up, then that I could have staffed and have people handing out food. But I don't want to do it. I miss so much summer holiday stuff that it's kind of the deal is I get winter holidays, you know.
Yeah. See, the problem...
That's the deal with the family.
For the last couple of years, we were doing it on Thanksgiving Day. And like the 2019, I think we did like 80 turkeys on Thanksgiving Day. We had like a $10,000 day on that Thanksgiving Day. But then like this year, my mom, who helps me quite a bit in there with like logistics and making sure I don't strangle people.
HR.
She had to work. Yeah, she's HR. She had to work at her real job on Thanksgiving Day. So we did it the day before, and our orders were like 20% of normal because people liked the convenience of just coming in at 10 o'clock in the morning and picking up their Thanksgiving turkey or their whole meal that we would do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we try and get it all done and out of there. We say pick up from like 9 to 11. So that way, inevitably, we know the 4 people that are going to wait till 1 to try and come and pick up, you know, they'll still show up, and we can still get out of there fairly early enough to go do the, you know, all the family dinners and stuff. And then, but so I'm not sure what we're going to do again this year. We may go back to Thanksgiving Day. I don't know.
So if the Southern, what have you been cooking on? What's your cooker of choice right now?
So we have at the restaurant right now, we have 2 FEC 120s.
Okay.
That we're running on. And then in the last couple months, 6-8 months, I've, you know, been dumb and I've bought that Traeger 200 big commercial pit that I was going to use for the food trailer. And
garage
then,
door.
I just happened to see, you know, this Southern Pride, and it was more of an impulse. Holy shit, I can't believe that's the price. I responded to the guy like 2 minutes after he posted it and said, you know, I'll be there in 2 days to get it. But we're using the Fast Eddie 120s right now. They put out a pretty good product, but you know, it's a pellet cooker, so you don't get the real good smoke flavor. We try and circumvent that by, you know, cooking it at a lower temperature for, you know, 4 or 5 hours and then bumping it up and all that. We had the big BFO from Jay, and it was my goal to get to cook on that. But I quickly found out that without consistently reliable help, it was running into the restaurant to make sure stuff was getting done in there, running out to the pit to make sure it was running right, running back into the restaurant. And it's like you just ran yourself ragged trying to keep up with it. And it put out a hell of a product.
Yeah.
Especially when we would do because we make our own jalapeno cheddar sausage. So we'd get it on there and smoke it, you know, super low, like 140, 150 for like 4 or 5 hours to get really good color. And, but it was truly a labor of love with that.
I think that's a testament to how Aaron Franklin has been able to ramp up his output doing that kind of style, watching that many fires or having people watch that many fires.
Yeah,
still be that consistent with it.
I would have had to hire, you know, maybe 2 more people to take the spot of what I was trying to get done inside, just so I could watch the outside pit. And it as much as I loved cooking on it, it just wasn't going to work out business wise.
So I asked with my Outlaw, since I had it on the back, I actually asked Jay if he ever thought about, because Close will do it, making a gas assist feature.
Oh, believe me, I've asked Jay for gas assist. I've asked Jay for a pellet assist, because you can buy those Smoke Daddy pellet assemblies. And
I just want a gravity fed made by him. And I've been working on him for that for a while. Now, especially now that Deep South is done.
right, and believe me, I tried to get
Hold
Jay
on,
to
wait, back up. You buried the lead there. Deep South is done?
Yeah.
He announced it about a week ago.
Did he
Closing up
really?
shop. Yep.
I'll be damned.
No more orders, so I can't get a second one. They cut off
they
all
can't
orders.
find help for people to weld, I guess. But hell, I tried to get Jay to do me a commercial rotisserie, and he had no interest in it.
We'll get him someday.
Someday.
Because
He'll get bored making those things, and
I wanted to do a all wood burning commercial rotisserie like a Bewley or an Euler type pit, because I have all the the list of parts that's needed to make it run.
Yeah.
And he was just like, nah, okay.
all right, Skippy, you got anything else for JT here? I gotta wrap up so I can get packed and get the family breakfast before.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. JT, I appreciate you being on. Good luck in the food trailer game. You can always shig off me since I shigged off you for
Oh yeah,
a couple years.
yeah. I'll need to get with you guys on some ideas for the minimums and the that type of stuff. Just
where can people find you online?
so Instagram is PitmasterJT. Facebook, Big JT's Craft Barbecue. Website, www.bigjtscraftbbq.com. Those are the three main places. I don't do Twitter. I don't do TikTok or anything like that.
And is your service area mostly on the south side of Indianapolis, or how far out do you go?
I honestly, I tell people, you pay me, I'm coming. So, if we can make it work for them and for me, then we'll make it happen.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on, and best of luck with the new trailer. It's a lot of fun. I think it's way more fun than brick and mortar. And good luck with the walk up too, and hopefully that starts picking up, and hopefully Cummins gets their people back in and coming over and eating. So
yeah.
Best of luck in all of it, and we will talk to you again soon, bud.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Yep.
And now we try to figure out how to end calls for not everybody. Start there. Over there. And there we go. He got it. I was like, I thought I could remove him from the call. But yeah, good call, good talk. But yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get breakfast. We gotta head to the airport in 45 minutes.
Yeah, let's roll.
Thanks everybody for another good listen, and we'll be back next Monday at probably our regular time, maybe.
Yeah.
It might have to be a late show. I'll have to talk to you about that later.
Okay.
About that consistency
What's something with
thing.
you?
Hey, I'm a busy guy.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Have a safe
Have a
flight.
good day.
We will see you
I'll,
soon.
I'll try to drive well.
Good luck.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
See you,
Bye.
pal.
And recording. Yes.
Recording stopped.
Stop there. And yes.